Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and a very Merry Christmas to you. We hope you enjoy this Christmas special and another episode of Top Tier Talk. Amir, take it away. A very, very up and down week for you. Throw in the cup, the energy drink cup, if I can even slate that as a Watford fan,
Go for it. I did it last year, so I can. Yeah,
and a 2-1 loss to Wolves about
yeah.
2 hours ago.
Midweek we were all buzzing, beating Newcastle on pens. Took us to the 93rd minute for the Mudryk equaliser or whatever. But yeah, shout out to Trippier, another mistake. Spurs gene lives on in him, and yeah, we won on pens. Shout out to the pens, they're all amazing. And onto the Wolves game. I watched the Wolves game was funny actually. I watched the Muppets with my little cousin yesterday, and I rewatched it today, watching Chelsea play. So yeah, that was great. First of all, Sterling's a disgrace for not passing that ball because it could have been 1-0 up and the game could have been, we could have had a different conversation and seen the game out. But no, he didn't. He wanted to go for goal. He had right to go for goal, but he missed. So yeah, everyone's going to be on his case, including myself. And then comes to the Wolves goal. The first one, we've been crap from crosses all seasons, and they nearly scored a minute or two before they did. So the goal was coming 1-0. And from there, I knew we weren't going to come back into that game. And then another Badiashile mistake. It's funny. I said Badiashile is probably our best centre back in last step, and he's made 2 mistakes. Newcastle and now Wolves now. So yeah, I'll probably cursed him. So yeah, that's not good.
You
And
can't.
go on.
I was because you can't really change him out, obviously, with your injury list. Is it you just
No,
buy new
I wouldn't even
defenders?
change him out. Like mistakes happen. I'm over it. It happens, but he has generally been quite solid for us this year, and he's young as well. But mistakes happen. Like everyone makes mistakes. Van Dijk does. Maguire 100
Saliba
mistakes.
don't.
Saliba makes mistakes as well. You're right.
You don't.
And I guess the only positive, if you could call it, and Cuckoo scored on his Premier League debut. A very nice header that probably Jackson would have missed. But yeah, that's probably it. But it's up and down. We expected it. We'll probably beat Palace and then lose again after that. So that's Chelsea this season.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
Are you looking forward to seeing Nkunku in the Championship?
In the Championship?
Yeah.
What of a stupid question is that?
On this run of form, it looks like you actually go down to like 18th, 19th spot.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think
What
they'll be
makes you
lucky
say
enough
that?
in terms of there are
We're good
teams
enough to
worse
say
than
we're
them.
not even in a relegation battle like that. I think
Not yet. How many points are you off the bottom 3? Can someone stat check that? It's got to be.
I think it's only about 5.
I think it's. I think
got to
more
be more
8,
than
10.
5.
Thinking 8
10
or 10.
points. It's 10 points on
Oh,
the
10
dot.
points.
Yeah,
I
but if
could
Liverpool's
change
out of
quick.
relegation battle, then that means there's 10 teams in the relegation battle, apparently, according
Makes
to
it interesting watching for us fans.
Makes
Can
it-
I ask? I have a bit of a more realistic question. Amir, do you think you can pull off something quite incredible and beat the 44-point tally you got last season?
Yeah, I reckon so. We've shown better signs this year. And if we do that and win the Carabao Cup, yeah, fantastic season. We'll win it. I mean,
Because right now you have 22 points, and with one more game to go, you'll be halfway through the season. If you were to lose that game, then you are on track to match it and not beat it. Would that be
perfect.
acceptable?
So you're good at maths, but my chum, we've got 1 week left until the transfer window opens, and I reckon we'll get a few more players in, hopefully, because we don't have enough of them, especially in the striker role.
And more players.
We'll hopefully get to the 44 point plus tally that you were saying we can't reach. Yeah, more players, 100%, definitely. Striker
What do
is
you
needed.
need? What do you need in the next 2 windows to be challenging for the Premier League?
We need a striker, a centre back, and a DM, as Poch said, and I agree with him.
Isn't
who could that
Wesley
be?
Fofana back in training though as well?
Yeah, he can be. But he'll probably get injured. But we need a Thiago Silva replacement because I think this season be his last for Chelsea, and hopefully a 6 as well if we get a 6 in. And obviously, another bad news was Enzo and his chronic groin injury. So I hope that's a big blow for us. But that's why he was crying, and not because Poch subbed him off, which is some weird Chelsea fans on Twitter trying to create a drama.
Fake agenda.
Exactly. And we're not like Ten Hag and that, who he just falls out with people for sake of it. There's bald ass ego in that.
Well, I thought what Poch said about Madueke was very harsh compared to what Sancho
What did he say about
said about
Madueke?
him. But he said,
Repeat it
so
for me?
Where
he
is
just said Madueke
Madueke
needs to be
anyway?
better.
Where is he?
He played today.
He played today. He was present at the
Says a
stadium.
lot. Says a lot.
He
He
came
was in
on as well.
attendance.
A couple of balls in the box. Yeah.
Is it? I saw it earlier. I'm pretty sure it was Sky Sports, so I'm guessing it's true. You've lost the most amount of Prem games more than any other team, haven't you, this year?
Well, probably. I think
in
we're 20.
2023.
Yeah, probably. It was the worst calendar year. Of course we have.
It's terrible for a club like Chelsea as well. Like I know I'm
It's
very much of
terrible
the
in that. Yeah,
brigade
you're
of
right. You're right. I mean, we all bantered Arsenal and stuff and when they're finishing eighth, but obviously we're much lower than that. But it's just funnier at Arsenal, isn't it?
It's not, but
It's much funnier. It was clear
it's
as
not.
hell. Especially because we
Okay,
haven't won
news.
anything. Yeah.
so also something that Chavez joked about in the group chat earlier. Are you a Bowley out, Bowley in, Poch in, Poch
Nah,
out? What's your stance on?
if I beat anyone now, I'll be more Bowley than Poch. But it depends. As I said, I'm not going to be Poch out because I don't think there's much better out there for us at the moment. In terms of Bowley, if we can get players that are over 23 years old and we stop with this young boy fetish, it'll be fine. A couple more experienced players, then it should be okay.
I mean, I have actually a good question for you. I know you said
Another
obviously you said
question. You thought it through
yeah.
now this time? Perfect. Let's go.
If you okay, so if you buy everyone you need in the January transfers, you get that striker, you get a centre back, and you get that other one you needed as well. Let's say you get all three and they're like perfect for the ideal, and then you still drop points, you still start losing, and you still come 12th. What then?
Yeah, then you have to look at the manager. But I've seen at the moment signs of improvement since last season, which is why I'm not Poch out as well as no one out. If a good manager does become available, then maybe we can have that conversation if it's not going at all well for Poch. But at the same time, you've got to give the manager time. I mean, you lot stuck with Arteta as well for a long time, and you ended up winning something at second or whatever, some bragging rights. I don't know, but
He's got a couple of he's got a few FA Cups and I know Community Shields and
no
stuff. I know they're not.
one FA. Yeah, to be fair, the FA Cup helped him and stuff. But if Poch wins the Carabao Cup, is like I guess that could give him a lot of
We've said before. I know when you did the same to Spurs when Man United won it last year. It was like, oh, it's the Energy Drink Cup. Doesn't matter. You've won it. But obviously, I've always said it's a trophy. It's a trophy, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
it
matter
isn't.
whether.
Like, we banter him. I
Yeah,
banter him. At the end of the day, like I'd rather win it than not win it.
yeah,
Win. We can
yeah.
always banter whatever it is, but like Elliot would give an arm and a leg to be in that trophy at the moment right now because it ain't look like you can win anything else. So yeah,
And I would like to be in what trophy? Sorry.
but any trophy just to win anything last season because you came second, it was just disappointing and everything else. You would have given an arm and a leg to even just win the Carabao Cup. So banter him for being a shit trophy, but it's a trophy, isn't it?
Yeah. But I suppose going from that disappointment, they brought in, well, I suppose the right players, and one of
Yeah,
them,
no, that's the thing. It's the right players, and if we keep on sacking a manager, another manager wants another player, don't they?
yeah,
They
it's just a
identify other
rotation at
players
door.
they want. They're not going to identify who Poch needs, is it? So there's going to be a circle. Like I said.
I suppose
So,
that's it from Chelsea. I suppose moving on to they just went from last season to, as I said, touching on Arsenal transfers. The man that can apparently handle 5-on-1s counter attacks, Declan Rice. So Arsenal won,
oh,
or
that's
Liverpool won,
stupid.
Arsenal won. Sorry, Elliot, take it away.
Yeah, 1-1 again at Anfield as well when their manager's asking for their support throughout their fans and saying if they're not going to go support, then don't come. Um, yeah, it was a good game if I'm honest. I think it was like up and down from both teams. I think there was definitely a chance for both teams to go into the winning side. You know, Trent hitting the crossbar when it, as you said, a 5v1 against Declan Rice. I think they should have put that away. We're very lucky to get away with that. But then also Martinelli when he could have popped it in the bottom left, I think it was, and he didn't. So as I say, it could have gone either way. I think 1-1's a pretty solid kind of outcome for what that type of game was. You can have all these Liverpool fans getting angry about how VAR's this and referees that. Apparently Arsenal's corrupt and everything like that because the Martin Odegaard was a handball. But weren't they the same people who were telling us to calm down and say VAR's still good when we were challenging the Newcastle thing? So it bites you around in the arse.
Quick question for you, Al. Was it that a handball for you? Or did Martin Odegaard? Was it a handball and should have been a pen to Liverpool?
It was a handball, yeah.
And should it have been a pen?
No, as it wasn't.
How does that mean? Why how's it handball and not a pen?
Oh, even I think some of your players have come out and said it's a penalty.
Yeah, it's a
It's
penalty, but
based
it's
on the
not.
rules though.
Why is
Yeah,
it
it's
not a
based on the rules.
penalty?
Because I think one of the VAR assistants actually explained why it wasn't a penalty and why VAR didn't give it. Apparently, it's because Odegaard tried to move his hand back to his body to his normal kind of stature, and obviously the ball still went and flicked up to his hand, which is why they didn't give it. If it
Yeah,
was like flared out, it would have been a penalty. That's what they said.
So we've
Like,
seen it also before.
he slipped and
obviously,
stopped the
if
ball. He
that's
stopped the ball from moving.
yeah,
So
but this apparently there's the whole thing about like attackers and defenders. Obviously, when it says attacker and it's handball, it's an automatic handball. As for Havertz, when we went against who was it? When
Villa,
we
it's Villa.
Villa, that's it. Yeah, when obviously it hit Havertz handball. automatic
It's more
handball because it's an
blatant, to be
attacker.
honest.
But I think there's some more leniency for defenders if it obviously the ball goes up for like a certain amount of distance, wasn't it? There's like a certain rule for that.
I think the
I'm
thing
not
was,
sure.
I think the
I'm
thing
not
was
sure.
as
If
well.
if I was a Liverpool fan and I saw that, I'd be screaming for a penalty as well. I understand their thing.
That's the answer I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. But
I
as I
also
say, there's got to be something that these men are seeing in the rule book that says, look, he's tried to move his arm back to the normal kind of way
It's,
of his body, which is why it's not a penalty.
I think the main rule is that we've also discussed before. I think it happened. I think it was Dallo or Shaw for Man United that was holding their body up, and because they're using it to hold their body up, then it's not a penalty because it's as you said, natural position. And
Mm.
Erdegaard was going down to sort of balance himself. I think that's
Exactly.
what
That's what I'm saying. So you
I
can
think
all.
that's what they
So
looked at.
I think the rules are kind of trying to like deviate from actual kind of personal interpretation. Really, they're kind of just saying, right, it should be this or that. You can't really say common sense based on like, is he trying to help himself stay up, as you said, Dan, or is he trying to actually save the ball out the way with his hand? You never know. But the thing is, as well, is that I want to touch on what's it called, the whole pitch at Anfield as well. Everyone was slipping everywhere, and it's kind of I don't know what's going on at that point. Why is Anfield like a waterlogged pitch? Why is everyone slipping everywhere? Why is like people getting injured from it? What is going on? Do their sprinklers just not work, or are they faulty or something? What's going on? Because, for example, who was it? Was it Diaz who came off injured?
Simica.
Simic?
Tsimikas.
No,
That
no,
was
but
that was Saka's fault though.
Yeah, that was Saka's fault. That
I don't
was.
all
actually
right.
think he did much wrong. I don't
He
think Saka
barged
did
Yeah.
him
much
out. He was off the board gone out. He barged him.
wrong. He didn't. He
Though,
wasn't
though,
doing
Yeah.
much in it.
moment of the season because he did take out Jurgen Klopp.
True.
That was nice. Yeah.
That was deserved. Yeah, that
That
was
was a
great.
nice, that was a nice
A
touch.
little bit from me about the game because I did watch it as well. I thought Liverpool should have won that game. To be honest, I mean that Trent missed.
Well, I said it could go either way. We both had the
one
opportunity
of
to go.
no, Trent should be burying that, and Reece James
Yeah.
does bury that. That's the first thing.
Right.
Number two,
He's got to play
Zinchenko.
football to be bearing that.
He'd put his hamstring trying to be
What
there.
thoughts on Zinchenko and him as a left back? Do you kind of wish you kept Kieran Tierney now? 'Cause he's more
We
defensive.
still have him. He's just on loan, mate. He's getting some game time.
At this moment in time, do you still wish you had him?
No, we haven't Tomiyasu. He's just unfortunately in an injury state at the moment, which is why normally I think we'd go Tomiyasu, Gabriel, Saliba, and Ben White. But Zinchenko's still a quality left back. It's just the case of like it's one of those left backs where he's more attacking minded rather than defensive minded. It's one of them ones, unfortunately.
Oh, I was going to say, this is the part where you saw how last year, in that very position, Pep changed Cancelo, and Cancelo was in an even better place than Zinchenko. Arteta wants to make Arsenal the best and challenge Pep. I think he needs to move Zinchenko on. And Zinchenko's not bad. Like, he can help other teams, but I think Arteta should go for like a complete left back right now in the January
Who
window.
would you
He won't
say?
do it.
Who would you say then?
I don't know. I'm not recruitment at Arsenal,
Luke
but
Shaw?
they have to find someone
No,
who's
no, but
more.
you're saying you should get rid, so you must have a
A replacement in our mind.
replacement in mind.
I
You
think
can't just
Grimaldo's
offload
a
a
better left
player.
back than Zinchenko.
Who?
Grimaldo, he's better than Zinchenko. That's one.
Grimaldo. Well, because
You
of
can't start
Bundesliga
spending
tax.
money.
It's Bundesliga
We're
tax,
going
though.
on Bundesliga tax a bit, though, mate.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
even
100%.
well, unbeaten in Bundesliga
What
tax.
about the
People say
Girona
buying
left back?
tax was
Should it be Girona left back? We should go for.
no.
Thing is, as
Nah.
well, is that left
Zinchenko-
backs. I think the whole aspect
In
of
games like this, Zinchenko did cost you quite a bit. I mean,
Yes, but
Liverpool
the
should have
thing is
capitalized a lot more.
sometimes this sort of stuff though is kind of back. It's kind of like risk and reward, isn't it? Because I think Arteta is kind of trying to try new things out. He's kind of saying when we're on the attack, Zinchenko holds into that midfield as well as obviously
Did that
Havertz and
last
Rice
year,
with
so just-
Odegaard pushes up. But what I'm saying is he's obviously going through that, and obviously teams are now understanding that this is what's going to happen. Zinchenko is going to be out of position majority of the time, which is why they're trying to capitalize on that and obviously trying to push down their right hand side, which Salah did. He opened his legs up because it's typical Salah fashion. He always does well against us for some reason. I don't know why. He's just got some we got some juju against Salah that he always just puts in a 10 out of 10 performance against us. But then again, Saliba was a Rolls Royce of a defender against Liverpool. He was calm, composed, and absolutely outstanding for us yesterday as well. Man in the match, which he well deserved, 100%. And yeah, look, we're top of Christmas. Fantastic. Do you know what I mean? 1 point. I
That
think.
was bigger though.
Yeah. Doesn't anyone wish the gap was bigger? Do you know what I mean? You got on mute, mate. What?
Yeah.
You went on mute.
It should
Amazing-
have been
amazing
Aston. If Aston Villa were able to beat Sheffield United and continue their run, it would have been them, which is crazy.
Exactly, but it's like
Sums the
it's
Premier
all
League
if
up.
buts. Do you know what I mean? We all can say yes. I wish I had 3 points. I wish I had this, but we didn't at the end of the day. We're still top. We're still top by
I
1
just
point
think you could have capitalized more on.
against Liverpool at Anfield. Yeah,
No, for what City had, I mean, like against Villa as well, and
The thing is, this season compared to last season, we haven't lost to any of the top six, which we obviously normally had.
Aston Villa.
No.
Are they
Do you
top
mean
six?
do you mean the big six? Yeah,
Big
Villa
six,
are
top, sorry.
third.
Big six then. We haven't lost to any of the big six.
Sure.
We beat City at home, which is the first time in God knows how long. We haven't lost to Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like you were more dominant last year from what I remember than this year.
But it doesn't matter. They're grinding out results.
They
Like,
were the mature
Yeah, but
one.
the thing is as well, everyone's
But-
got this kind of epitome of like where Arsenal should be because of based on what last season. Everyone thinks,
Yeah,
oh,
you
because
should-
we came second and we got this, we should have like 138,000 points in top place and we should
No
not
one's
lose a
saying
single
that. I don't
game
know
and we
why
should have a
Victor
goal
wants
difference of
something, but-
132.
No, we obviously
Otherwise, it's a failed season.
didn't lose as much of your big players. You've kept your big players and you've added to the squad, so everyone's expecting better. Isn't that normal? You'd probably
What do you mean
want
expecting better? We were top of
Better
Christmas
than
last
second
year
league.
and we were
Of course,
top of
you've
Christmas this
got-
year. What do you mean better? I don't understand what you want from
I
us.
don't know. I don't think the football.
We've gone from here to here.
Last year, way more
We're same
dominant.
level. I don't know what you want.
Well, you're better points tally last season, probably.
I don't think it.
Points tally. Does it matter? First place.
It
If you
probably
got
does,
first
yeah,
place in
but
89
first-
points or first place in 78 points, it does not matter.
By the end of May, whoever has the most points at the end is first.
Exactly, but it does. That's what I said. If it's
Ultimately,
first place by 78 points or first place by
I just think
89
it's a bit
points.
easy. I think City can catch that easy.
No, I just think every other fan is quite jealous of how well Arsenal's doing at the moment, and they're saying we're on a shaky period, or we're not as well as we're doing as we should, or we're not doing as well as we should
I
be
don't know why the
doing, or
Vicks
with
are
this
not
or that, because their club's not doing as good as us, and we're actually still on a good run.
Okay, sure, you're on a good run. We'll see in May if you're still on a good run.
Yeah, you said this last
Yeah.
year though. This is the
I
thing.
do agree.
Yeah, and I was right last
Yeah,
year.
and it
not a
worked
case
out.
of-
It worked out right.
Yeah, we'll see then, innit? Now we've been bolstered in the
We're
midfield.
bolstered
We
in the
might
midfield.
bolster in January.
The midfielder's probably not even that good compared to last season.
It's better than yours, but okay.
It's not, anything's better than us. Wolves is better than us. Get over it.
Clearly, I suppose last topic on that. I suppose from me anyway. I don't think it's a case. I partly agree with Elliot. It's not a case of winning all your games, going unbeaten. It's a case of like last year when we said like after the Bournemouth game and they managed to just like drag out a freak. It was 3-2, wasn't it?
3-2, great game.
You haven't got to play
Reece
well.
Nelson.
Just win.
Yeah,
And if you can't win,
that's right.
don't lose.
Yeah.
They've what was it? You lost to
They did
Villa
that last
and
season, and the City caught them with like the 3 draws in a row. So that logic's pretty stupid.
well, no, but like how this season's, but they're doing all they can.
Yeah,
do,
but you're
right?
acting as if like this season's like going down the drain.
No, it's not going down the drain, but we all know what City's like. City, it's
Okay,
when
City's fifth place at the moment. So what now? Why are you not flaming City for being fifth
I've
place?
got a game in hand.
they've got game in hand.
Okay, game in hand or game in not in hand. They're still fifth.
No,
at
no,
the moment.
I would have flamed them more if you guys took a bit more advantage because they probably have. You're right. They
We
have
beat
lost-
them 1-0. We beat them.
No,
We
no,
took
no,
3
not
points off them.
against them. Obviously, okay, you beat them. That's obviously an improvement. But in terms of other games, like if you'd beaten Liverpool, you beaten Villa, etc., or if you'd beaten us, which you probably should have, you're a better team than us. If you'd done better in them games, and then the points.
The thing
tally
is,
higher
yeah,
would be
but
really-
eventually, like, we
to
can't
create
go
a gap,
38 games.
No team.
No, of course you can't. I know.
No
but I'm
team
talking
can play
about the
100
bigger
miles an
gap.
hour.
Yeah. One thing about Man City catching up this year, which is very different to last year, is the best DM in the world might be out for a very long time now for Man City. So I think this is where Arsenal have the one up. Rodri could be
Oh,
out
what's
for
happened
quite
to
a long
Rodri?
time. He
Knee-
sustained quite
knee
a bad
injury?
injury in the last game. It
Did
was
he?
like so.
But now De
And
Bruyne
the
is
fans are
back.
celebrating it.
Nah,
I think
Rodri's-
Rodri's more important. to
Yeah,
that
yeah.
team.
But I'm
They
saying De
don't look
Bruyne
the
is
same.
like back in their team, so that's
Well,
still
I'm
what
pretty sure
bolsters
the
them.
January window's open. I'm pretty sure they can find someone from somewhere in Argentina. I know they've been sniffing a lot of Argentinian youngsters recently as well. They can probably sniff someone out who'll become probably not as good as Rodri, but will
John
do a
Stones go
job.
CDM.
Yeah, Pep will do something to change it, and then Arteta will copy that in a year's time or something.
If we win, it doesn't matter if he's copied it.
Yeah, so if you win, fair enough to you. I could be chatting shit, but I'm
I'd
just
take-
going off data from last year, all the last years.
I suppose takes it from you two onto the newly owned Manchester United as of about an hour and a half ago. So Chavez, new man, take it away.
Yeah, it wasn't a shock, the result this week. West Ham away, a team that's within the top 9. We were not going to win this match. It would have actually been miraculous if we did win the match. I think we are yet to do that under Ten Hag, so this was no shock. I thought West Ham were actually quite poor compared to their previous performance in the Premier League because they were outstanding in that game. But then we got the one moment from Paqueta, who's been outstanding. The one brilliant pass in the entire game, and they scored from it. Jared Bowen has the second most goals in the Premier League this season. That in itself is a joke. They've been really good. Kudus looks amazing. I'm choosing to talk about West Ham more because I actually think they deserve a lot more props. getting a result out of that game when it was actually a very poor football match. Probably the worst game just to watch in terms of quality this year I've seen. Aside from that, on our part, Garnacho, it's the same as Sterling against Wolves. Can't miss those chances. Garnacho missed a very easy one, and once you do that, Bowen scored his one, so that's how it goes. Anthony is just the problem with Anthony is that even when he plays okay, it's not good enough because he's a one. Well, how much did Anthony cost? I forget his price now. We see all
72?
sorts of numbers, something like that.
80 mil,
72, yeah. 80 million euros, something like that. A player like that, it doesn't matter if you're playing okay. You can play okay 25 games in a row. It's not good enough. You're an 80 million pound player. And I know it's not his choice, but he is because our board decided to do that to him when he was valued at 25 million initially. So it's not good enough. He will never be good enough. And the problem with Anthony is now from this point on in his career, he's never going to be good enough because he actually cannot play to that level. And his career is over because of Man United's board deciding he was worth that much. Kambwala played. He was our best player. I said it in my ratings, absolutely no shock. When a player who does not play for the senior team comes in and plays their first game, new signing, whatever, they always look good in the first game because they have not actually experienced our environment, which is shit, I'm assuming, because everyone turns out to be shit. Jadon Sancho was unbelievable, doesn't even play now. So there's a lot of this and that in our team. And I'm sure I said Kambwala will be a bad player in a year. And he'll be like Tuanzebe, he'll be gone to some championship team soon, like Brandon Williams. Yeah, Manu made a mistake, but that's not his fault. I think the biggest problem in that game was that there weren't actually too many terrible performances, which then makes you look at the manager, what are the tactics, because we don't look like we have any style of play, any plan. And yeah, you've got to ask questions of what Ten Hag's doing in that changing room, because it seems like after conceding a lot of goals, we've completely overcorrected and now we can't score a goal. We haven't scored a goal since December the 6th.
Question for you. The Anthony thing is quite interesting. I agree with you. I don't think he's been bad recently, but I also think he's just lost all the on confidence because you know that the Anthony we all saw like the fidget spinner, the taking on. I didn't see him take on a man at all yesterday. So I think he's just shot of confidence. He's trying to do the basics, passing back, not taking shots. I remember he take a lot of shots cut in as well. So that's one thing. Another thing, Rasmus Højlund. I know he didn't get the service, but
Couple of
is he a
12.
flop? Are we going to consider him a flop now or not?
But the thing is, I will say one thing I said from the start was that Højlund will not get 5 goals, more than 5. And I meant the Premier League when I said that, and he's got 0. But we were setting up for disaster. He's, what, 19, 20, and we relied on him to be our main striker in the Premier League.
And then you take him off. He takes him off and then puts Rashford striker. I would have taken Garnacho. I think you got to look at the manager in a couple of these decisions as well here. You're right.
We set up Højlund for disaster. I mean, relying on him for a club like Man United was always going to be a recipe for disaster. And now we are going to have to correct that and sign. We'll end up with another. Let's see who the next one is. It was Igalo, then it was Weghorst. Name another one. I'm sure if there's one out there, we'll get him Slimani or something.
Troy Deeney.
Who knows? Who knows? And it's always someone random. We always end up with someone random. It won't be the good players that people are naming like Grassi and all these random Tony. We're not going to end up with Tony. Let's be real. We're not good enough to do that. But it's just overcorrection. So yeah, you're right. Ten Hag has to be questioned because his subs are questionable. But he's tried other things. He's taken Garnacho off quite a bit for Rashford. That didn't work. So I think he just tried something else yesterday. Didn't work. With Højlund, if we were to actually criticize his game because he's the main man at Man United because our board decided that was okay, he doesn't impose himself. He doesn't get involved enough because fair enough, he's working off of scraps. He doesn't get the ball. But a lot of times the striker is supposed to drop deep when that happens. You see the best strikers, they drop deep. Kane is the best example. He plays in midfield if he needs to. So Højlund needs to learn that. Someone needs to tell him. Someone needs to instruct him, train him. And hopefully his game can improve. But it's in the most horrific, toxic environment to do that. And I hope we haven't ruined him. But I think anything that touches United right now. And one thing I will say, I know he's a Man United fan. I thought he was very stupid for coming to Man United. I said this at the start. I thought he would have been a very much better move if he had gone to something like Arsenal or Dortmund, whoever was available. But just us at this part of your career, it's very risky. I mean, Jude Bellingham would not be the player he is now if he went to Man United. So very smart from him. But yeah.
I've got a question, Shamez. I just got a question. So obviously, Daniel mentioned at the start of this as well that you got a new partial owner now with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, sorry, but taking part of your. Are you excited for that now? There's big things to come?
Yeah. I think I would have been excited if you took over the footballing operations in Man United. Anyone except for what's happening right now. So it's nice to have different human beings. At the very basic level, it's very nice to have different beings with a brain controlling the footballing operations at Man United, aside from the ones we've had, whoever that is, John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold, whoever was in charge. Apparently, we don't even have people that know how to value players versus what they perform, because a lot of the players a lot of the people we've had before have had jobs in different fields, not even football. So it's nice to just have the basics, and
How
hopefully,
long would you give this
again,
ownership before you can judge them as well? Was my
there's
question.
a lot of time. They're not even in yet. They have to get approval from the Premier League, which takes 7 to 8
Yeah.
weeks. It might not even be a case of
What got announced today then? What's actually the announcement?
the announcement is all subject to Premier League approval, which should happen. It's customary, but that also means that they won't have a say in our January window. Very likely, it might come down to they won't. They literally won't because it starts soon. So this window is just a write-off. Ten Hag can't be sacked. The funny thing is, people ask for Ten Hag to be out. Ten Hag can't be sacked. There's no one to sack him. And a club that announces something as big as this on Christmas Eve, that also sums it up. We are a mess from top to bottom. It will be nice to restart when we do. And yeah, hopefully this is the start of the end of the Glazers, because if this isn't, then this really isn't. I don't think they deserve anything, because by the way, this could work. We could get a lot of success from having different people controlling footballing side of Man United. But the money that comes from that success, I really don't feel comfortable with them getting it, the Glazers, but they might.
So obviously, as you said, he won't have a say in the January. Obviously, providing he'll have it in the summer, won't he? But what would you do, or what would you feel like you need to do in after? I think I asked you a couple of weeks ago, in terms of January incomings or outgoings, even. Do you reckon? What do you
January's a
need?
bit of a write-off, Dan. I'm telling you now, we're probably going to end up just getting some dodgy striker just to fill in on loan. And I think the next window will be interesting, because I think we need a big mass just
Excellent.
removing of many players, including Rashford.
Whoa.
It starts from the top. Unfortunately, it starts from the top. And I don't like the ego of some of these players. They really do think they're better than what they are. So Rashford,
Praying on his downfall for
Lindelof,
years.
Maguire, pretty much every position. There's only a few
Maguire?
players at this point I'd keep. Maguire, yeah, I would. Unfortunately, a player who we need to set a standard
That'll be
now. A player who,
interesting. We should do a keep or sell Man United. That'll be good.
yeah, that'll be good, because I'm pretty much ready to give up on all of them. I just want a new club, new players. And I said one thing, by the way. I said if we were to remove every single human being associated with Man United right now, aside from obviously the new owners, I wouldn't shed a tear. I wouldn't care. Just start with new people. I don't care.
But Johnny Evans. Bless
Him
him.
as well. He needs to. It's not his fault, but he needs to go as well. But anyone, I don't even care if we lose Garnacho. Garnacho's not going to be Messi. Garnacho's not going to be Ronaldo. Manu's not going to be Busquets. I mean, all these entities that people are hype up, they're not going to turn out to be anything. The one who might is Greenwood, and he doesn't even play for us, because that situation went to shit. Not blaming anyone for that except Greenwood, but that sums us up. So.
Because then you got Villa next as well, so another salt in the wound. So we'll see how that goes.
I hope you beat Villa.
Of course you do.
Should we
But I
do
don't
a
see that
combined
happening.
11 for that game? Is it possible? And Man United.
Absolutely. In goal,
Absolutely.
Emi Martinez. Right back, Matty Cash. Centre backs, Konza and Pau Torres. Left back, who's the left back?
Luca
Digne.
Digne, yeah.
Douglas Luiz is probably the best DM so far in the Premier League this season. Who else is there? McGinn's been brilliant. Is he the captain?
Yeah, McGinn's the captain.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it myself. You can chip in.
No,
if you
no,
want. I don't know
no,
if you.
no,
I'm
keep-
agreed.
No, this is
I've got a Man United badge, and I'm telling you. Who else? Maybe Bruno. Like
Buendia,
Bruno.
Emi Buendia.
No, I'll put Bruno in the
yeah. Give
Okay,
it a Man
one.
United player
right wing. Bailey probably.
Or
Yeah.
Diaby, Musa Diaby.
on the left. Diaby on the left.
Strike. Dialby on the
The
left.
striker,
Okay,
Ollie
Through the
Watkins.
middle.
Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It's very quick and easy. Villa are a very good team, by the way. All praise to Emery. Very brilliantly tactically set up. Didn't need £1 billion like Chelsea. Didn't need 2 years like Ten Hag, and they're just doing it
I
straight off the
didn't
bat.
need 5 years like Arteta either, did he?
He's just doing it straight off the bat. He's done brilliantly.
Oh, he didn't
He
get
loves a little
5 years
dig
at
there, doesn't he,
Arsenal.
I
Amir?
don't rate Arteta. I don't like him.
Hates him, bless
I
him.
think,
Before we do end it, a big shout out. Man City have completed. They're the champions of the world now as well, I guess.
apart from the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, but no one cares. There's corruption.
cares. I mean,
There's an
Man City-
asterisk next to it.
Why?
Well, 115 charges. Until they win
Oh, yeah.
115 trophies since the charges have started, I'll praise them. Once they do that, then fair
They're
enough.
well on their
charge per
way.
trophy.
They're well on their way.
Yeah, they're close. They're getting up there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They're over,
Chavez,
they're over 1% of the way, further than you are.
Chavez, if Man City get obviously a charge at the end for all 115, what would you want to happen to them?
Get stripped.
Well, relative to Everton losing how many points?
10.
So they need to lose 1,150 points. And I don't care where that puts them. If minus 1,150 points puts you in.
It'll be 20th in
Sunday
the Premier
League?
League. It'll be 20th in the Prem. If
No,
they
but
block many
you
points.
go down. You accumulate
No,
the
you
points
won't.
down.
No.
They go down the
No,
league,
they won't.
That'll be
Yeah,
Sunday League.
There'll
Man
be
City
two, there'll
Sunday
be, there'll be
League.
two completely different things. If you get
Okay,
dropped
then
points,
they
you'll
should be
just
minus-
start on minus.
minus 1,100 whatever.
So they'll get relegated and then the champ.
And they'll just
And there
tear
was
up the
an
champ and come
interesting
back up.
quotes from Guardiola.
Because even Pep was saying about how he'd still be with Man City if they go down to like League
yeah,
One.
it's all for the cameras. He ain't gonna do that, is he? Really?
You get exposed.
Number one, and he also said
Stoke
it's like
away on a Wednesday
chapter,
night.
really. Maybe he's trying to dip before these charges get to fruition.
Well, if Pep's won everything, I suppose that is the end of his story at Man City. You can't do much else, I suppose. But that is it for us this week. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good Christmas if you celebrate it. And until next time, goodbye.